My name is Ryan. My friend Kyle and I have taken our barroom conversations to the internet in the form of Michigan's most up-and-coming sports talk podcast. From baseball to Bigfoot, we cover it all. You're in for a treat because you have found the Turbo and 2K show. Welcome back, 2K crew. I hope you guys survived the weekend. We did get a little bit of break in the heat, but I think it came back full force yesterday. We are recording on Sunday, so hopefully you didn't sweat your balls off too bad. And we hope you find you maybe driving to work, nice air-conditioned ride, or just sitting there in your office, maxing, relaxing, hopefully not too stressed. But we're back in last week's episode up with another special guest, and he's special in my heart and as well as 2K's heart. We've got Mr. Christian Hudson back in the studio. What's going on, brother?
How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. We kind of figured you're since you're our NBA analyst, we'd we'd kind of bring you in as a kind of a guide, let's say, okay. To I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I'm pretty sure every player in the NBA makes $30 million a year now, at least. That's just what it seems. But to kind of help us gauge kind of this wide open NBA that's going to be 2019, or 2020. But before we jump into that, we do want to remind everyone about the Jerry and Danny Memorial Golf Outing. It is August 3rd, I believe.
Correct.
Yep, August 3rd. I'll reshare the information on how to contact Jerry, how to get your forms in, and hopefully we see you guys out on the course that day. And there's also the Fairway Frolic Challenge. Coincidentally, both of these are at Pineview, and I'll reshare the information on that. So check the Facebook group out. And if you don't know where to find the Facebook group, it's facebook.com/Turbo and 2K's crew. So look that up. I know I post some really cool shit. Christian talks shit on a lot of my posts, and Kyle just gives a thumbs up every once in a while. So with that being said, gentlemen, we paid the proverbial bills, and wow, there's before we get into the NBA free agency frenzy, if you will. I'm pretty sure our listeners know that all three of us are baseball lovers at heart, and just what the no-hitter in Anaheim. For those of you that don't know, number 45, Mr. Skaggs, passed away. And this was the first home game since then. And all the Angels wore his name and number on their jersey. Which that in and of itself is pretty damn cool. Mm-hmm. That is pretty damn cool.
Had his mom throw the first pitch of the game. And
threw a strike from the rubber. Yeah. God bless her.
Yes.
God bless her. And yeah, just fast forward throughout the game, and it was a combined no-hitter. Mm-hmm. Combined no-hitter. And if you deep dive into it, some of the numbers and some of the stats are just
bone-chilling.
Yeah, like mm-hmm. it was almost meant to be. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if I speak for all of us, but that's one of the reasons why I love sports, is because there's something, you could be watching something that's never happened before. So big shout out. And then to kind of put the icing on the cake after the game, all the Angels went out to the mound, took their jerseys off, and put it on the mound, which hats off to the players, the organization, even the opposing players. They were all 100% awesome in that whole process. So if you have not seen, I'm sure it's all over YouTube. Just do a Google search and you'll find out. Watch some of the videos, and we won't get too deep into the numbers anomalies, because the more you look into it, there's just more and more and more and more and more. So if you do have a chance, just Google it real quick, because it's especially if you're just a sports fan, mm-hmm. I think it's something that's really neat. So all right, motherfuckers, I've had about 5-6 people ask me, Turbo, when are you going to talk about free agency? When are you going to talk about the NBA? Well, I don't want to. And to be honest with you, we told you that we're going to be reactionary rather than trying to guess where these players are going, because like I said, that's a waste of my time and your time. So now we're going to reflect. This is what we do. This is what we always do. And I figured let's just start like chronologically. Okay, pretty much the first main piece was AD going to the Lakers, which I think a lot of people saw. And ultimately, I think the Lakers kind of got a better deal waiting, so they didn't have to trade their entire starting lineup besides LeBron. So, yeah, you had to give up draft picks, but you kept Kyle Kuzma. You got AD. So, and then...
Gave up Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Josh Hart. I mean, those are three pretty solid players.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that out of Kuzma's probably the best out of all of them, though.
Yeah.
So to be able to keep Kuzma in that, that's a big deal for the Lakers. And I think if they would have made this deal during the season last year, Kuzma probably would have been involved in that.
Oh, that was the talk. Like he was the main piece of that. So, and on top of that, the Ball family's out of LA. Mm-hmm. So, and Papa Ball sitting there going, "That's the biggest mistake they ever made."
Banned from ESPN too.
I mean,
best thing that's ever happened.
People want to get into it and talk about, they're giving up all these draft picks. Okay, when are you going to find an Anthony Davis in any of these drafts, especially where the Lakers are going to be drafting at?
Right.
They're not going to be in the top 5 now anymore. Mm-hmm. So for a draft pick, they're not even going to be in the lottery. No. So you're not going to find an Anthony Davis with a pick beyond the 15. 15.
Yeah. So, he's probably he's a once in a lifetime player.
Absolutely.
He really is. I wouldn't go so far as compare him to Zion because they're two totally different body types, two totally different players, but still the impact they're going to have on each of their teams is once.
Proven himself that he's probably a top 5 player in the game today.
Yeah, and then kind of not secretly, but kind of under the radar, bring in Boogie, and when
he's got to get healthy.
Yeah,
he's got to get healthy.
But look how dynamic those two were when they were both together, both healthy.
Yeah,
and if he comes back, at 90% of what that was, especially for the price tag, I don't. And if he doesn't, now what would really be funny is if him and LeBron got in a fist fight. That would be pretty dope.
So my question with them,
I hope it doesn't work out.
My question with them is, is Boogie going to start, or is he going to be a guy that comes off the bench?
I think they do the same thing that when he was in New Orleans. So Boogie plays the 5, AD plays the 4, LeBron playing the 3. But the thing with Boogie and Anthony Davis, they both can shoot.
Yeah.
So there's not two guys clogging up the post the whole time.
Yeah.
The only thing with it, the only knock I have on Cousins is I think he's a little bit defensively. He hurts a lot of teams. You saw with Golden State, especially when he was on the floor defensively, they were not nearly as good.
No.
When they had Draymond playing the big.
See, I don't think he was fully healthy.
I agree.
I don't think he should have been playing, but
they've come out and said that they think LeBron's going to run the point next year. So
why not?
So my thing.
So you got two big guys that can shoot the ball. You probably could slide Kuzma in there at the 3.
Yeah,
he can shoot the ball.
And then have you're obviously not going to have LeBron matching up on a point guard, but they got Avery Bradley, who not a great offensive player, but a very very good defender. So you have him to defend the point guard.
Well, and another sleeper. Danny Green,
absolutely.
Yeah, Danny Green went there. That's a great pickup,
especially someone that can knock down shots. And when you have LeBron and Anthony Davis, you need to have shot makers around to surround.
You got to spread it out.
Yes, and that's the only knock I can see in the Lakers right now is I question how many shooters they have who can knock down shots. Danny Green, I think, can do it, but who else do they have that can consistently not sit there and knock down shots?
But I think with the balance, because Kuzma, AD, and Boogie can all shoot it a little bit. So it's not, I don't think shooting will be their, I think defensively is going to be their, could be their weak point.
Right.
And then they re-signed Rondo. So that's a good, backup point guard coming off the bench to lead that second unit, which Danny Green will probably be in. That's a really good fit. Kuzma could be in that second unit. We don't know yet.
They have options.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have options where it seemed like last year it was, especially when LeBron was out.
Oh,
They really didn't have any
It was
options.
huge for him last year. Lonzo Ball going down at the very beginning. I mean, I think he's very, very underrated as far as what he does defensively. And then, I mean, he's another guy that can knock down shots and everything on the offensive side of the ball. Can make things happen. He's not a great shooter, but he can create to where they didn't really have that guy, especially when you have LeBron down for over a month also.
Yeah. So yeah, after AD, the next, which totally floored me. I figured, like when we did the pre-show to this, we were like, well, it's Sunday, free agency opens at 6. You might see a couple fall. No, about 90% of the dudes signed by 10 o'clock on Sunday. The Nets came through. The Nets came through, and it didn't shock me, but it kind of did at the same time. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people thought, why the hell would you go to Brooklyn when you can go to the Knicks? Mm-hmm. And KD
Nobody wants to go to the Knicks. I'm sorry, that's a dying franchise.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
they're everybody. All these, ESPN analysts. They're living in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
80s, 90s. Mm-hmm. It's over. Mm-hmm. It's over.
Mm-hmm. But it's that big market. It's New York.
Oh yeah, but my question is, what are they doing? I mean, they come out and say, "Well, we weren't prepared to send a max deal to Durant." What? I mean, this goes back to when you trade away Porzingis and all the fans are throwing an uproar, and their answer was, "Well, we're clearing up the cap space so we can bring in Kevin Durant and bring in maybe a Kyrie or maybe a Kawhi or whatever." And you're not. When it all comes down to it, you can't even send a max deal to maybe the best player in the NBA. Now I get it, he's hurt.
Yeah.
But then you come back and you follow that up with a tweet. As soon as you say that I can't come up with it to send the max deal to Durant, but we're gonna get something done tonight for Julius Randle. Shut up! Like, what do you? If I was a Knicks fan, Randle? Come on. So, it's if you're on the Knicks, I'm embarrassed. I don't even. I mean.
And you kind of put salt in the wound too, where everyone thought the Knicks were going to get the number 1 overall pick. Mm-hmm. They didn't, so they lost the Zion, the Zion sweepstakes. And I mean, even if you continue to look, I mean, you're right. I mean, is the owner of the Knicks and the owner of the Lions like BFFs? Do they get together and be like, how can we fuck this up more?
Well, I think maybe it's the same guy that's running the Giants.
That could be too.
About the NFL side, I mean,
that could be.
I'd rather be a Lions fan than a Giants fan these days.
Yes, yes. But yeah, so the Nets get their guy, get Durant, and then 10, 15 minutes later, you see Kyrie sign there.
Here's I'd rather have D'Angelo Russell than Kyrie. Mm-hmm. Kyrie, I really think he is a problem behind closed doors. Because there is no reason why he shouldn't have succeeded in Boston.
No, I agree.
But he wanted everything to be based around D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, he had that little thing with Nick Young where you ratted him out. But you know what? D'Angelo Russell carried that team to the playoffs last year with nobody. Mm-hmm. With absolutely nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And really, when you look back in D'Angelo and his time with the Lakers, it was the problem was going with Nick Young with Swaggy P. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say probably Swaggy P was more the issue than D'Angelo.
Yeah.
When you have a nickname that's Swaggy P,
you're bad news. I mean,
let's not even get into that.
Who was it that he cheated on? What chick was that? The actor singer.
I have no idea.
What was her name? Is it Iggy?
Well, you're our pop culture aficionado here.
I think it was Iggy Azalea.
It was a mess. I remember it all going down.
Yeah.
And at the time, the Lakers were a mess. I mean, this is before LeBron got there. This is before. I mean, this is.
And you even saw Magic come out and be like, "Hey, we need to get him back in LA."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
And so that's got to say something. Mm-hmm. It didn't work out the first time. He was young. The whole team was pretty much garbage. Mm-hmm. He probably didn't get a fair assessment, to be honest with you. So,
but then he goes, they trade him to the Warriors. That was a huge move for the Warriors.
Oh, I think so too.
I think if they don't, make a move on him, he probably ends up in LA.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's counting the Warriors out, and and like you just said, I thought that was a great pickup bringing in D'Angelo for them to kind of,
he's only got 1 year left, so
yeah, it's going to fill that gap a little bit. But I think the Warriors are going to be good enough to make the playoffs. I think even without Clay, and then they're probably going to get Clay back down the stretch next year. I don't think he's going to be out for the whole season.
Now, see, with me and the Warriors, it's kind of I'm right there with you, but it's going to be. I think you're going to see.
Steph Curry's going to average about 32, 33 next year. You watch. Mm-hmm. He's going to have MVP season.
Mm-hmm. And
because the ball's back in his hands.
Yeah.
And where it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
I like Kevin Durant. He's a damn good player, but offensively minded, Steph Curry is probably the most, I think, creative.
He can shoot over it.
Yeah,
he can drive to the hole
no matter what, and they go in.
Mm-hmm.
He's just so, dominant on the offensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Defense, he's a little liability, but he's legit.
And his health comes into question
he's
too.
got to carry a little bit more of a load.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes when you were watching him with Durant, sometimes I think they tried to run so much iso ball and let Durant do his thing, which, fair enough. You're talking about one of the best players of all time. Mm-hmm. But let's go back before Durant gets there, and how much energy that ball had, and the way that it was moving around.
Mm-hmm. You got to remember, they won a ring without him, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and you still got Draymond. Draymond was better when Durant was out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, those two never mixed well together.
I don't think, you got to have a certain taste to put up with Draymond Green.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the player that they didn't keep that's Iguodala.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He it seems like he's always there.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone forgets about him, but he's always there. And Livingston's gone now. So I think it's more they're definitely you just can't throw dirt on them by any means. It's more of a changing in the guard, I think.
I thought they were going to go pick up JJ Redick, and I just thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah, they would definitely break their own 3-point record with that. But yeah, what do you boys think about the clip show? This was probably one of the last dominoes to fall.
This to me was probably the best thing that's happened all offseason. The way that and I could be dead wrong on this, but I think Kawhi just went straight baller status this offseason. I think he held off because I think he wanted the Lakers to get their hopes up like they were going to get him, to kind of keep the Lakers from maybe making some other splashes and trying to divvy the money out instead of, just giving the max deal to Kawhi. And so I think he waited on it. And this whole time, I'm pretty sure he probably had a good idea that Paul George was coming with him.
Right.
I think that was more shocking to me than Kawhi signing there.
Yeah, it was more the package, and I think a lot of the time that it took was actually getting that deal finalized.
Mm-hmm. But and to me, it's you got Anthony Davis joining with the Lakers, and then you have the Warriors are kind of falling back. You got Durant going to Brooklyn and teaming up with Kyrie, and then you have we haven't even talked about Westbrook going to the Rockets yet, but and then we're talking about Kawhi teaming up with Paul George, and what this has done is there's so much parity in the league now to where in the years past you can basically count on two teams. It was going to be the Warriors and the Cavs for how many years straight.
Parity in the West.
Yeah.
In the West. Yeah. There's
when you
4 or 5 teams that are.
But when you get Durant healthy, and then and Brooklyn coming back, they're going to be a team that's on the radar. And
like Miami was solid last year. They picked up Jimmy Butler, great signing. 76ers, they're going to be there. Milwaukee's going to be there. The East is young. I should say it that way. They're young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But just to me, there's going into next season. There's so much. For me, there's so much more excitement because it's not the same teams.
I might actually watch a few games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Regular season games.
Yeah, which is shocking to me.
Yeah. But no, it's kind of neat to see LA kind of get back to. I'm pretty sure all the star power that's there now between the two teams probably hasn't been that way ever. Because it's always historically been the Lakers and the little brother. And now, I think the Clippers are actually a better team, and could possibly take the reins of that and then just take the building over.
You might have the two best teams in the league, both in LA, both playing in the same arena. You know?
Both in the same building. So that I'm actually kind of excited to watch the Clippers this year because, after the playoffs, I was a huge Kawhi fan to begin with, but that just kind of put the cherry on the top.
You still got Doc Rivers there.
Yep. And
that's who's even coaching the Lakers now?
LeBron.
I mean, do they have a coach? Right?
Frank Vogel.
Is it Vogel?
Yep.
So that's solid. I didn't know about that,
Kurt
but
Rambis.
still.
Yeah, Kurt Rambis is, yeah.
The legend of Kurt Rambis. Dude, he put the goggles on the map.
Him and was it Moses Malone?
Yeah, put the goggles on the map. You knock those goggles off, you're getting your ass whooped.
So yeah, we've been talking a lot about the West. Well, Philly made some moves.
Yeah.
Not only did they extend some players, but they made. Ultimately, I think they're probably, if not the best team in the East, probably 1A.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd rather have Jimmy Butler over Al Horford.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But we'll see. I like we were saying before we went on the air. I don't know if Butler ever really meshed real well with that team.
And then you got to think that they lost Redick too. Redick was huge for him because he's a floor spacer.
Yep.
That's what they need. They need floor spacing, and who better than JJ Redick?
Mm-hmm.
Well, none of the dudes on that team are actually really good shooters.
No, exactly.
I mean, Embiid's not bad.
No, Horford's not a bad shooter either for a big guy.
And that's the thing. See. They're big guys. They're their best shooters.
Yeah. Ben Simmons has to develop.
Yeah.
He has to become sort of a threat from 3-point line.
Yeah, even just to get a mid-range game would open up so much for him. I mean, if he could develop a jumper, you were talking about one of the top 5 player in the league.
Yeah,
if he can develop that, just what he can do, getting to the basket and being 6'10" and handling the ball. He handles the ball and passes like magic.
I think he is the younger version of Giannis. But Giannis is starting to develop a shot a little bit.
Yeah.
He's going to this offseason, I guarantee it.
Yeah, and
because that's what Toronto they let him shoot out there, and that, he couldn't knock it down. But Kawhi put the clamps on him. Man. Kawhi Leonard I think he's the best player in the NBA right now.
Oh yeah,
hard to argue with what he did. I mean,
he did this postseason.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some folks say LeBron. You're gonna get some folks that say KD. But
LeBron, no, I don't like LeBron. I don't.
Hater. Yep. Well, let's move on to the most head scratching move is Westbrook to Houston and Chris Paul to OKC.
Yeah, I don't know what this one is a wild card to me. I don't know if the ball's going to go around enough for that to work with Westbrook and Harden together.
I was just going to ask. Last I knew, there's only one ball on the court at the time, right?
Yeah.
Move Harden back to the 6th man.
Yeah,
like he was in OKC.
And that's kind of the weird thing that gets me is everyone's like, oh, they're going to be reunited. Both of those dudes were two fucking different players back then. Like you said, Harden was 2 or 3 times 6th man of the year, and now he's the man. And first of all, I'll go out and say it. Russ's triple-double streak is over. Mm-hmm. There's no way he's going to be able to do that because he's not going to have the ball in his hands that much.
They're both, James Harden's labeled as a shooting guard, but he's a point guard.
Yeah.
He's a point guard. Russell Westbrook, he might be more of a shooting guard than what James Harden is, but they both have to have the ball to do anything. Mm-hmm.
So is it an upgrade over Chris Paul?
I think it. Yeah, I mean, and especially with all the clashing.
And he's 4 years younger.
Yeah, and not injury prone. Like Paul. The last few seasons has just been an injury waiting to happen.
I think Chris Paul's right now. 5-6 years ago, he was legit. But right now, I think he's the most overrated,
overpaid,
absolutely.
Point guard in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And kind of,
and it kind of falls back on LeBron because he's part of the old their banana boat squad or whatever.
And that's
Also, I think I read Carmelo signed with the Warriors.
Did he really?
I think so.
Oh well, good for them.
Yeah.
Let's see if Carmelo likes coming off the bench, because traditionally he hasn't. But no, even if you look at OKC, it's like, all right, you trade Paul George, which is fine, and then now you get rid of basically your foundation, and you bring in an aging, overpriced point guard. Now, granted, there's a lot of sources that say they're trying to move him for draft picks, which is fine. But if that doesn't happen, I mean, yes, you need draft picks to reload, to rebuild. I get that, but
to me, who's gonna give up first round draft picks for what is Chris Paul 34 now?
The Pistons.
I mean, why? I wouldn't even think about giving up a first round pick or multiple first round picks for. It's one thing when you're talking about giving away first round picks for Paul George, absolutely.
Yeah.
But or even in Russell Westbrook, if you're going to give away one for him, okay, I can agree with that. But for Chris Paul, no, not a chance. I would be hesitant to give away a second round pick for Chris Paul.
We'll talk to the owners of the Knicks. Maybe they'll do it. Not only will we give you 3 first round picks.
I don't think Chris Paul plays a minute in OKC.
It wouldn't shock me. But if they think they're going to get draft picks out of him.
But here's another thing, though. See, OKC got back a lot from Clippers for Paul George. Pretty much starting 5. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you throw in Chris Paul as that point guard of that team. That could be a 6, 7, 8 seed too.
Yeah. To me, it's I saw that come through on the bottom line.
I don't think they're out by any means, but
no. But if I'm, if I got my one player, if I have one player on my team on a max deal, it's not going to be a point guard. I'm not doing it on a point guard.
I mean,
unless you have like a point guard once of a lifetime point guard like Steph Curry, that,
or even
Derrick Rose's prime,
even Russ. To me, he's a max player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because he especially if they trade Paul George and it's just Russ there, he is the team.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were talking about, he has to have the ball, he has to touch the ball, and the kind of the upside with him, I would say, is that he is going to get you the assists, he is going to get you the rebounds, where Harden can do that, but not necessarily. Mm-hmm. And and Russ isn't that settle for a 3 guy, where that's Harden's deal, and then he flops, and then I get pissed off and change the channel is what happens. But now I'm sure there's a lot of listeners out there too that I thought Russ to the Pistons would have been a good trade.
I wanted it. Especially if the Pistons could have made the deal and were able to keep Drummond and Griffin, and team them up together, and then the Pistons went out and signed D Rose this offseason, and D Rose really, I think I know he surprised me last year with what he did.
He had kind of a resurgence.
He was a borderline all-star.
Yeah, yeah. So I
love seeing that. I love Derrick Rose.
I was a huge D Rose fan too.
Me too. But I consider myself a Pistons fan. If anything there is to get Reggie Jackson off the fucking floor, I'm down for. Fuck, I'll take Chris Paul on his deal right now just to get goddamn Reggie Jackson out of there.
There, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Kyle's making deals for the Pistons. Watch out.
But no, I think Westbrook would have fit in. Would have fit in with that lineup right now. And especially with the contract, you're tied in with Blake Griffin.
Yep. So,
and the East, we've talked about it. The East is very weak.
It's wide open.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you throw a Westbrook in there with those two, and they have a chance. I don't think they were going to could pull a 1 or a 2 seed out of that, but they could have been that 3 or 4 right there behind them.
I think who else? Who would be a 1 or 2 seed? I mean, if Russell went there, I think they are a 1 or 2 seed.
I still would have the Sixers and the Bucks ahead of them, but it's close. It is close.
And don't sleep on the Pacers, boys.
And the thing is,
don't sleep on the Pacers.
Westbrook, you don't know how it would have worked out. I mean, Westbrook could have got there, and him and Griffin and Drummond, it could have worked out great for him. Who knows? Hell, it could have been terrible for him. We don't know that.
Pacers have another signing that's going way, way under the radar. It's Malcolm Brogdon.
Mm-hmm. And you get Oladipo back healthy.
Pair those two in the backcourt. That's tough. That's a tough, defensively, and they have one of the best shot blocking big guys in the NBA, Miles Turner.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to insert Sabonis in the starting lineup.
That's
a solid lineup.
Mm-hmm. Everyone wanted to throw dirt on him when Oladipo went down, and they're like, "No, we still got this.
And
we still got this."
Brogdon can flat out shoot the ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oladipo can shoot. Yeah.
Defend. I mean, what Brogdon can do defensively, and Oladipo, he's a great defender also.
Brogdon's not going to get you a 20 a game. He's going to sit around 15, 16, 17.
Holy shit! Gordon Beckham hit a home run.
That's my guy. That's my guy. Even though he's a Tigers.
He bent it like Beckham.
Tigers, but that's my guy. Ever since he came into the league with Sox.
I've loved that pickup for the Tigers, and there's very, very few things with the Tigers these days that I like. But Gordo's he's just a pro.
Yeah.
He can play multiple positions in the infield. And he's going to give you good at bats, and he plays good defense. He's just a good player.
And yes, we are ADHD folks, so don't worry.
Squirrel.
But
it ain't every day that Tigers fans get to see a home run.
That's why I was sitting here pointing like, holy shit, what's going on?
Something
7
tragic happened.
Well, there is something tragic happening. The Tigers are winning 8-3. They scored 7 runs in the top
it's
of the
early
third.
though. It's early. Tigers still have a bullpen that's pretty shaky.
I think Zimmerman's still out there.
Well, I hope so. It's only the 3rd inning.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Zimmerman's still out there, so the game is not over.
Their best bet might be just to bring in Shane Green next inning and let him finish it off.
How many?
Six inning save.
How many pitches you got in you,
You
kid?
get the win too. Yeah. You get the save and the win.
Well, since we kind of jumped into that, let's switch gears and let's get in some baseball, boys. I tell you what, the home run derby, wow. I was editing and I went live. That was pretty intense. I mean, and not only the Jock Peterson, Vlad Jr. 3 times swing off.
That was awesome.
Oh
yeah.
Everybody counted Jock out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
they did, and I thought he was going to win it. I thought the second swing off, or maybe his first. I thought he's got it.
Mm-hmm.
He's freaking got it.
I'll give mad props to.
What screwed me up was the score. The score on the screen was different from what they had on the field, and I was like, "Oh, Jock Peterson just beat him."
Yeah.
But no, he ended up not. Like, oh,
and
all right.
Jay Stone picked Jock to win it.
Yeah,
I picked Jock
before
to win
it.
Yeah.
I picked Josh Bell. Josh Bell was my pick. And
no, what would
18.
what would have really been cool for Bell is if he would have switched right and left.
Yeah, right to left.
But
they said the ball was carrying for lefties better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the 3 big mashers were all righties.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm glad it didn't go down this way. And like we were talking pre-show, I know how they seed this thing. And when you got Vlad Jr. having 3 or 4 home runs, he's the low man on the totem pole. He's the 8 seed, and Christian Yelich is number 1. And to me, that would have been. It wouldn't have been fair.
Oh, I agree.
You have because Vlad, I like I said, I understand the seeding. This is what they do.
Oh, and if you think about it, how else could you seed it really?
Right.
I mean,
right.
It would be so hard.
I still think they should do. I like the format. I mean, I love the time, but instead of pairing them up with each other, just do a total for first round, second round. Because Vladimir, he hit 90-some home runs and didn't win.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that we were going to bring up, but I think it was better that Illich wasn't in it, and I say that as kind of I don't know if it's a baseball snob or he just doesn't have that crushing home run swing. Granted, yes, he's leading the majors in the home runs, but it's not those.
Yeah. No.
Give me.
He's a different hitter.
Yeah.
You
You can say the same thing about Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bregman was one. I thought he was going to be that sneaky dark horse that just ran away.
He hits
with
those
it.
wall scalers, and I don't think he really
He didn't
uses
hit the 440. I don't think.
I don't think he uses near as much, energy as some of these other guys that are just, throwing hacks.
He's got a different swing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's got a different swing than your typical elevate and celebrate guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's kind of got the old. It almost looked like the old chopped wood habit going a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're right. He does. And just watching Acuna go Oppo to me is just crazy.
And I mean, even same thing with Christian said that he picked Josh Bell to win, and Josh Bell was going, right up the middle with a lot of them, and he hit some freaking,
Josh Bell
tape measure shots and that.
That guy's impressive.
Yes, he is, and from both sides, switch-handed hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now if you would have given me Joey Gallo in this mix, holy fuck!
Especially for a lefty, because I think it was kind of. I think in Cleveland, if you're a lefty and a home run derby, I think that probably plays more to your favor. You got the high wall out there in right field. I think that plays a little bit of a factor on it. I mean, when you're talking about guys like Vladdy Jr. and that high wall isn't even.
No.
They're hitting it 100 feet over the wall, so it doesn't really matter.
What was crazy to me? When they're talking about Josh Bell. He's 6'6", 230, 240. Give or take. His parents did not let him play football growing up.
Yeah, that is crazy.
If I was a football coach, I'm freaking pissed. I'm freaking pissed.
And we've sat here and talked and haven't even mentioned the winner yet.
Yeah. Alonso,
that kid.
he's impressive.
He
He
is.
is very, very impressive.
And both rookies, the finalists are both rookies, first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember years back where you're like, all right, yeah, the home run derby was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of those weird guys that I loved the Chris Berman back. It did get annoying after a little bit, but it was just part of the experience. Mm-hmm. And now that of course he doesn't do it, but it's kind of regained the luster with the time instead of just the 10 outs.
I think I've made a Facebook post, pretty much the same status for the last 6 or 7 years. There's kids out in the playgrounds doing the same dunks that they do in the dunk contest. Mm-hmm. There's nobody in this planet that can go out there and hit home runs like this.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody.
The thing I think is so cool about it is you have $1 million on the line. You talk about Alonso and you talk about Vladdy Jr. They have a chance to make more money in a home run derby than they do for the entire season.
Yes.
These guys haven't hit their max contracts that they're going to get someday. They're going to get them, but for right now, Pete Alonso made more money that night than he's going to make the entire season, and he's going to be
probably the next 2 or 3 years.
I think we can chalk him up easily as Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah. There's the only other one I could think that can come close is a kid in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the way Alonso's just taking the reins and run with it, I mean, it's hard to.
So that's your NL MVP. Who you got, or Rookie of the Year? Who you got for AL?
I said earlier this year Vladdy Jr. would take it, but I don't know.
You counting out my boy Eloy Jimenez?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah.
He's got 14 home runs right now. I think he's leading rookies in the AL.
How many home runs?
He got hurt for a while.
Yeah, he was out for a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I said Vladdy Jr. earlier this year, so I'm gonna stick with him. I think that.
See, I don't think so. He's got 8 home runs, and he got called up so late.
Yeah.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason I'm not saying him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I got my boy in Boston. And I say that, and he's my boy, and I'm trying to figure out what the fuck his name is.
Chavis?
Yes, thank you.
What about Yankees first baseman? Is he a rookie?
Voit is not a rookie, no.
No, and
he's probably has the best chest hair in the game. I'll give him that. He flosses that quite well.
He's a beast too.
Yeah,
but like we talk about, and I just said it, and I think you guys would both agree with me that Alonso's the guy for Rookie of the Year in the National League. But what about Soroka?
Yeah,
with the Braves, I mean, so
yeah,
he was in the Allstar game.
Yeah, yeah, and that what's the left fielder's name? Ridley, something like that.
Austin Riley.
Oh yeah.
That's
and his problem is a little bit, not getting called up until a little bit later.
Yeah.
Also,
it's all money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why they weren't.
Oh yeah,
because if you don't pull them up, you don't have to put a whole another extension and sign him to a bigger number.
Yeah, that's the same way. Same reason Vladdy didn't come up till late.
Yep.
Same reason a lot of these kids.
Oh yeah, you see it all the time.
And now another one for it probably might be the most electrifying rookie in the NL is Tatis Jr.
Yes.
They-
That kid is he's fun to watch.
They ran a stat. He's tagged from third twice for a pop up to the second baseman.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that?
He's exciting to watch.
Yeah, I was.
Great glove in the infield
Oh,
too.
you take away the crazy numbers that Yelich and Bellinger are putting up, and we can almost talk about Alonso being there for the MVP.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's freaking mind-boggling to me as a rookie first baseman. I mean, and him playing for the Mets hurts him also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's hurting Josh Bell too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we talked about Josh Bell a long time ago, and I think it was third or fourth week of the season. Yeah. You know, it was probably the first month, but you know, he was kind of secretly putting together what now we're seeing, and you know, when we brought it out, it's like, all right, yes, is he an MVP candidate? Yeah. Will he win it? No. And I'm pretty sure he could actually take over the statistical lead from both Bellinger and Yelich and still not win it because the Pirates are awful.
I agree. Yep.
No, they're rebuilding. Let's put it that way. But
Well, they're one of them teams that's been rebuilding for the last 15
But,
years.
I mean, that division's tough.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
And
And another team that, sleeper teams, Cincinnati Reds are going to be, they're going to be solid. I love that.
Puig
that
powered.
Dietrich.
oh yeah,
That
yeah.
Dietrich. Dude just pimps everything, man. I thought he was going to be in the home run derby.
Yeah, and he's another
hits
guy
bombs.
that utility player that can play a lot of different positions and
Yep.
yeah.
But yeah, that's there's like we've said it over and over. There's so much young talent in baseball right now that if you're not excited about that, I don't know what the fuck's the matter with you, to be honest. And a lot of these kids are kids of Hall of Famers or past big leaguers.
Kevin Biggio.
Yeah,
Toronto, too.
Toronto's got it. They're just stacked with young kids.
Haven't even seen the Bichetti kid, the shortstop that they're real high on.
Hope he's got hair like his dad. That'd be dope. Have the mullet. With a name
He does got flow.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does have pretty good flow.
with a name like Dante, you have to have the mullet. Have to have the mullet.
Damn it, Dante.
But no, we talked pre-show about how good can Alonso get, and I think the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And
Year 2 will tell. It's all about year 2.
Yeah, and
Pitchers, they learn.
They start to
your
figure out.
weaknesses. Yep.
Yep.
Year 2 makes or breaks guys.
And
I've said that on here before.
and I think too probably the thing that kind of went under the radar for the whole All-Star game is there was no Bryce, there was no Manny, 2 big money makers.
Yeah.
Didn't make it. Of course, Trout did, but Trout was leading.
He's going to win MVP.
Yeah.
I like how Bryce's picture was on the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And then just to kind of dive into the game real quick, the game itself was very exciting to watch too.
You know what I thought was so cool was miking the players up. They're talking during the game and just kind of getting that inside the game, the insight. I thought it was really cool, and the Freddie Freeman being mic'd up in that at bat, and probably like maybe the best Justin Verlander bender I've ever seen.
Yes.
And he throws it to him twice, and Freddie Freeman, one of the best hitters in the game.
Yeah.
And to freeze him up, he doesn't strike out very often, and freeze him up like that and make him, which when you got Joe Buck in your ear, that probably plays a little bit of a factor too. What a douche!
I hate Joe Buck. I hate Joe Buck. What's even worse is when you get him and Troy Aikman together. Now, him and Smoltzy I can handle because I like John Smoltz. But can we just get someone else, please? Please? Pretty please. Or stop putting it on Fox so I don't have to listen to his ass. But no, that to me, that was the only downside of the All-Star game was Joe Buck. That hands down. But, Joey Gallo hits the bomb that pretty much wins the game. And overall, I think the pitching was solid. I was also a fan of the mic'd up players. Now there's people that are going to take it a little further and say, well, should we do this during the regular season? No. Get the fuck out of here with that. But
Yeah, they do it in spring training quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's one thing. But
when it's an exhibition, do it. Exactly. Go for it.
Yep.
And, you know, Kyle, the three of us have kind of said this a million times. We're biased with baseball, but out of all four major sports, I think baseball has the best all-star experience.
I think so too. Absolutely. But going back to trying to mic these players up in the regular season, like baseball is hard enough as it is. It's such a game of focus and trying to find little tiny advantages that can, and to have somebody chirping in your ear, unless you got them calling you pitches, or something telling you, here comes the fastball. But no, it's and that would probably be another issue with it also, is you'd have teams that were
You know what I would like to see? I'd like to see included in the All-Star, like a skills challenge. Guys, either pitchers, whatever, like a speed throw challenge, throwing from the outfield, running, something like that.
Yeah, like, because
add something else to it.
I agree, because then you can bring in the whole, like you could crown the fastest guy in the major leagues, from home to home.
Yep. Or the strongest throw from the outfield or something like that, or from the infield to first base.
And now you might be onto something there, because now with StatCast they can do all that shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they can get you the speed off the bat, I'm pretty sure they can get the speed out of your arm.
Yep.
And and that might bring in some other players that aren't on. We always talk about the snubs.
Yep.
Hell, there's probably probably 5 or 6 outfielders that are going to be like, I got the best arm in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kid from Oakland, center fielder's got a cannon. Chapman's got a cannon from third. I think it would be cool. Just do something like that.
Center fielder for Oakland wrecked my Red Sox pretty much single-handedly to open the season.
Yeah,
the dude had
Bryce Harper had a damn good throw last night too.
Yeah. So that was it was kind of surreal that we talked all this time about where's Manny going, where's Bryce going, how big the contract's going to be, and Manny's having a better season numbers wise than Bryce. And that's something you and I went back and forth a lot with. It's like Bryce has only really had one good year when he won the MVP. Everything else is kind of mediocre. I'm not saying it's horrible, but his defense is always on par or better. But it's the marketing, it's the sponsorships, it's the extra shit that he brings off the field that's going to make you your money back. And and don't sleep on the Phils either. I mean, they're getting hot at the right time. And do I think they'll catch the Braves? Maybe not. Maybe not. Because it seems like everything the Braves touch right now turns to gold, and they pay, silver prices for gold. Yeah. We mentioned Acuna and Albies. They locked both those kids up on the cheap. So they're gonna, these baby Braves are gonna be there for quite a while, and they've got Freeman locked up for a while. If I remember correctly, he signed the richest deal in Atlanta Braves history. And you look at all the Hall of Famers that have come through there, and none of them made what Freddie Freeman's making. So, but no, I was kind of shocked to see at least Manny didn't make it, and maybe it's the change in how the players are selected now, whereas you just can't. It's just not just the fans voting in their favorite players. It's actually more deserving. That might have had something to do with it. I didn't deep dive in to see how many votes either one of them got, but if you're doing a popularity contest, I mean, I'm pretty sure with Bryce you're going to get a lot of popularity and a lot of haters. So he's just one of those personalities.
Same thing can be said with Machado, and I think something that kind of hurts Machado a little bit is the field. You go to Petco from Camden Yards. That Petco's not a hitter's park, and Camden Yards is. There's a big difference there.
And that ocean breeze, man, it's not really forgiving.
And Machado was getting hot, right towards the All-Star break. So maybe this, especially with him going from, he did have played a little bit of the National League, but his first season in the full-time National League's got to be a little bit of a change coming from the American League, where Bryce has been in the National League his whole career. So maybe that plays a part in it. I don't know.
I always thought AL pitching is so much more dominant than NL though too.
Yeah,
always.
But as far as for Machado and the Padres, look out for the Padres for the next 3 or 4 years because they are going to they are good.
They are so young. I think Eric Hosmer might be the oldest guy on the team.
Seems like it. Seems like it. And he's probably one of the best defensive first basemen in the league.
Another National League rookie in Paddock, the pitcher. He might be one of the best pitchers in the game here in a couple years.
Holy shit! The Tigers are winning 9-3 now. Holy
Stop
shit.
it.
Holy shit.
They are playing the Royals.
They're battling it for the first pick.
People are probably pissed off. What are you doing, Zimmerman?
Well, guys, we got about 15 minutes left, and few episodes ago, Kyle and I kind of deep dove into the Detroit Tigers, and we kind of mentioned that we probably should have brought you on the show not because you're a huge Tigers fan, but you've kind of been through you've been through the rebuilding process with your White Sox, and I think you're seeing a lot of dividends
starting to pay off a little bit.
Yeah. So how about let's not say deep dive into your White Sox, but kind of give us some of the players that you got from trades and how everything's going to kind of give the Tigers fans a little bit of hope, a little bit of this is the process and it does work.
I think the biggest one we're seeing pay off right now is Lucas Giolito.
God, yes.
Lucas Giolito, he was an All-Star. Went 1-2-3 with a strikeout in the All-Star game. He got bumped around a couple games, but overall, I think he has an ERA under 3. He was the first 10-game winner in the American League this year. He's been pretty damn good.
And they got him from the Nats?
Nats and the Eaton.
Yeah,
Adam Eaton deal.
Adam Eaton trade. Yeah, we got him from Nationals. Eloy Jimenez, he's starting to hit the ball. They got him from the Cubs for Jose Quintana. And, he was one of the top prospects in the Major League. And, a couple of years ago, they compared him. They saw a lot because he uses the whole field to hit home runs. And when he hit home runs this year, they are mammoth home runs. I think 2 of them were like over 470. Just absolute shots. He's got mad power. He's going to be a 35-plus home run guy here in a couple of years. Yohan Moncada.
What you got from my Red Sox?
Yeah, he's been up for a couple of years, but I think it might have been a little bit too soon. But he's finally hitting 300 this year. And he swings both sides of the plate. He's tough. Kopech, he's in rehab right now, but I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's another Boston guy that we got out of Chris Sale. It's refreshing because I was so pissed off because what happened was we went all in. We got Samardzija, we had Chris Sale, Adam Eaton, Jose Abreu, and we got off to a hot start that year. The Cubs and White Sox had the best record in baseball. Next thing they just fell apart. And everybody was gone. I was a little upset about that because they just went through a tough stretch. I thought maybe give them one more year, but they said nope, not doing it. We're getting jumping ship. We're going to restart this. Chris Sale's a hard guy to see leave the clubhouse.
Yeah,
but it's starting.
Well, don't make him wear throwback unis.
Yeah, that's right. But here, Chris Sale doesn't want to wear those damn uniforms. We ain't wearing those damn uniforms.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not even arguing that.
But the best tweet I ever saw was from fake. Oh shoot, I can't remember who it was. It was something. Kenny Williams. The GM, it's fake. Ken Williams said, "That's the last time son of a bitch cuts up a retro uniform in my locker room." It was like an hour after he got traded or something. That was hilarious. But it's good to see. It really is because we've waited a couple years for it. And Tim Anderson's been great, but he's been a guy that's been there. And that was another thing. If we had Machado wanted to play shortstop, and we have Tim Anderson. He's a young talent, but I think what they would have done if we got Machado was move him to the outfield because the kid's got speed. He's got very good speed. But I mean, it's good seeing that.
Yeah, and
still got a couple holes that we gotta find. But
you're ultimately, I mean, we can say that. I think we can all agree the Twins are the best team in that division.
Twins are. I'm happy for them too.
Cleveland's hot though right now.
Yeah.
You know, and you look back at when
I don't ever count out Cleveland.
no, and you got Francona as the manager, and
Three-quarters of
they're
their pitching
finally starting
staff
to
is
get guys
hurt.
healthy.
Yep.
Guys are coming back and healthy now. Ever since the unfortunate news with Carrasco had kind of surfaced, that's when they got hot at that time, and they've been playing some of their best ball. And I think will it be enough to catch the Twins? No, but wild card. You know, they could be a wild card team.
Yeah, I'm right
Twins
there
are
with
hitting
you.
home runs.
Yeah.
That's unheard of out of Minnesota.
Yeah.
What I see, Kepler has like 5 home runs in his last 5 at bats. I think I saw that last night. Like, what?
You know, that was, you know, when they first opened that park, I mean, you go back to the Mauer Morneau days, and the ball flies way different there than it did in the dome.
I don't understand, though. You're in Minnesota. Why wouldn't you build a retractable roof?
Yeah, agree.
To be honest with you, I don't care where your stadium is at this day and age. Why doesn't every
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before. Yeah. Every professional sports, team should have a retractable roof.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I get it if you have, a historical stadium
like Wrigley. You can't you can't put a roof on Wrigley.
No.
But like,
could you imagine the balls bouncing off the roof instead of going out of Wrigley?
Going Lansdowne instead.
But then again, there's no wind.
Yeah.
So that could change everything dramatically.
Yeah.
And I've been to Miller Park. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Got to see the roof open and close. I've been at the Rogers Center.
One of my favorite ballparks I've ever been to was Tropicana.
Yeah.
I love Tropicana. They need to upgrade it though. It's a little outdated, but
they might be playing at Tropicana and Montreal at the same time.
Yeah.
So
I don't like that.
That's stupid. That's so stupid.
I don't see it doesn't benefit financially. I don't see how it could benefit them.
Mm-mm.
Well, try pitching that idea to a free agent.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
So you're essentially playing.
But
now half.
How many free agents go to Tampa Bay?
Oh,
they all leave. They get talent and they all leave. Mm-hmm. You look at Price, Longoria. Well, Longoria was traded, but man, Longoria was the face of that franchise for 10 years
or more.
Yeah, he was a stud.
Mm-hmm.
He was an absolute stud.
Yes, he was.
Sweet ass swing too.
Yep.
Sweet ass swing.
An above average defender.
Yeah. So when they had Carl Crawford out in center field.
God, that was a horrible signing by the Red Sox. Then they just dumped him in.
How would you like to see a retractable roof in Fenway?
Like I said, no.
Yeah. I'm talking more so like football.
Yeah.
I think football,
especially a winter sport.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't know if. See, I like those football games.
I don't. They're 8. They're 7 to 6.
But like when you think of
10 to 7,
I have a hard time.
Suck.
I agree, and I'm an offensive guy. You know that, but like. Green Bay, Chicago, playing in the snow. There's something cool about that.
That is. It's a home field advantage.
And there,
it really is.
And there, you get the cold weather, but you don't get like the snow that that you get in Buffalo or something like to where it's just ridiculous. Amounts of snow.
Oh, shit, you know how cold Soldier Field gets off the lake. Oh my god!
But when it's cold, you can still throw up numbers. We've seen Aaron Rodgers do it in freezing temperatures, and he's still throwing 30 points on the board.
Well, look at Brett Favre's win-loss record when it's below freezing.
So. Yeah, it's a home field advantage.
Yeah,
but
no, if you're going to put money in and build a new stadium, I don't see why on earth you would not.
Yes.
At least have the option. And it's even for fans. Fans are planning a weekend to go and watch games, and you get a game rained out. I get it. You can come back, 2 months from now, and you got your ticket, but it probably doesn't work out for you.
No. And it's where was I watching that at? It's it doesn't matter, but it's like. It was in Texas, where Texas is building a dome, which, that's been for the Rangers, that's been one of the kind of deterrents with free agents. They're like, I don't want to play when it's that fucking hot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, it was 95 degrees Thursday. It was the first game after the Allstar break, and it was Astros Rangers.
Yeah.
And it's 96 degrees at game time. This time, what do they say? It's still over a year out.
Yeah.
But once the dome's done, it'll be 70, 75 every game. And that's to me that has a. Could you imagine playing half of your games and it's 90 degrees or more? Mm-hmm. God, just the. It's ultimately the way I think about it is you kind of have to train for that, like you're in Denver. Mm-hmm. It's a different atmosphere. It's different conditions than a Detroit, Chicago, Boston, or New York, where it's.
See, I couldn't imagine playing football in that weather, where it's consistently
that hot.
Yeah,
with all those pads and shit.
Mm-hmm. No. Summertime, workouts in football in high school were brutal enough because it's so damn hot. But doing that for 16 weeks. Mm-hmm. Well, granted, I wouldn't be, but.
But still, I mean, it's got to be taxing.
Yeah.
I think of football weather. I'm thinking like 50 degrees.
Well, Las Vegas is gonna be hotter than shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you're gonna put the money in, the fans are going to be the ones that pay your bills. Yeah. So ultimately, make the fans as comfortable as they can, especially nowadays. Mm-hmm. If you're going to build it, might as well be domed. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Las Vegas, you see well, Raiders signed Richie Incognito. Mm-hmm. He's already suspended for 2 games.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he did? Mm-hmm. He was at his dad's funeral, and something didn't, or his viewing. Something, and he goes, I'll cut his fucking head off right now and walk out of here with it, because he wanted an autopsy or so. I don't know exactly what. I was like, holy smokes, dude. And he's punching caskets as he's walking out and stuff. I was like, holy shit, man.
Sounds very.
Dude's got a screw loose.
Sounds very.
Dude is a monster.
Yes.
Holy smoke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that story doesn't surprise me considering who it is.
Who the source is.
Yeah, that's Richie being Richie.
So I'll cut his fucking head off right now. What?
Like who says that?
Good pickup, Gruden. Because Gruden said, we want model citizens and like Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do? We signed Perfect and Richie Incognito.
Antonio Brown, bring him in there too. He's got to mesh well. Yeah. Brown and Incognito, they got to mesh real well, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
And I bet Incognito and Vontez Perfect are best friends, too.
Well, I'm pretty with Coach Gruden, if that's the way you're going to get publicity and people watch your game.
I like Gruden. When he was, an announcer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He was. I like listening to him.
Talk about a bunch of trash, though. Oakland's always been known to always bring that trash in.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's what they wanted to get back to, maybe the bad boy kind of image.
I think the only player that survived being in the Raiders was actually Randy Moss, because then you go from the Raiders to the Patriots.
Yeah.
So
I really like Derek Carr.
I did too.
So do I.
Yeah. I really like Derek Carr. I thought he was going to have a big year last year.
He was an injury away from possibly being the MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, all right, boys, we've reached that hour mark. Anything else we want to? We've kind of spanned the globe and done a whole lot of other shit. So, with that, Christian, thanks for joining us again.
Anytime.
I know it was kind of a last-minute thing last night, but your NBA prowess is always welcome.
God, so good.
Well, if your basketball knowledge isn't up to par, we know you're going to go get some accessories like some arm sleeves, headbands.
Oh, dude.
I got it all. And at least look the part anyway.
I got that. I got all that stuff for one day and one day only. Now I don't even know where any of that's at.
I'm kind of shocked that you didn't have it all on for bags last night. I thought maybe show up to the bags tournament.
All right, when have you ever seen me wear accessories and stuff? The only thing I ever wore, in games and stuff, was tape on my wrist, because I broke my wrist 5 damn times.
Yeah, don't you have like a piece of your hip in your wrist?
Yeah, I do. I do.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll get out of here. Have a great week, guys and gals. And if you're actually looking for something to do, the Bluegill Frolic is going on Friday and Saturday. And yes, I'm pubbing it for the first time. And hopefully this is going to be a not rain-filled and not a billion degrees, but it's going to be that way. So coming out, we got the beer tent, we got everything else going on. Friday, everything kicks off at 5 to midnight, and then
The beer tent's at 7, isn't it?
yep, beer tent's at 7.
Both nights.
Beer tent's
Only Saturday, right?
yeah. The beer tent opens at 5 on Saturday.
Saturday.
7 to midnight Friday, 5 to midnight on
Oh,
Saturday.
so it is 2 nights.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. And the parade's kicking off, I think, at 11 on Saturday, and that's kind of going to be what's going to start the whole.
You're building the float?
No,
No.
Turbo
and 2K's float.
Next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
next year.
Next year.
Was in the budget.
Well, I mean, we only when you're here at Turbo and
Spit it
2Ks, we don't half-ass shit. So we obviously needed a little bit more time than a month to get this float
Exactly.
together. So now we have a whole year.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, big things are coming. Big things are coming.
Gotta get this deck built out front
Yeah,
first.
yeah. the fucking deck that's been sitting there for a month. Well, all right, guys.
That's good.
Yeah. I tell you what,
Come around.
you're definitely not going to fall through it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get you out of here on this. And as always, Jim Romer coming for you.